So yesterday was a big day for video game fans, especially those of us who own a PlayStation 5 and a Nintendo Switch. We of course had a brand new Sony State of Play presentation. We had a brand new Nintendo Direct. I made videos on both of these presentations. Make sure you guys go check them out if you happen to miss them. I uploaded 3 videos on the channel yesterday, so you might have missed out on one of them. Please go back and check them out if you want my more in-depth thoughts on both of those presentations and a brand new Nintendo Switch game that's coming out very soon. But there was definitely some mixed reactions to both presentations, and when you look at the Nintendo Direct, like, there was a lot of games there, but I think something is pretty clear with Nintendo and how they're handling the Nintendo Switch. It's kind of on its way out. And that's not necessarily a bad thing or anything like that. Obviously, companies move on to new hardware at some point in time, but when you look at the lineup of games that was talked about, the lineup of games that was revealed from Nintendo themselves, you definitely start to see a trend. They're mostly stuff that, you know, a remake, a remaster, a smaller budget title than something like a big AAA title. This definitely didn't look like a system that's in the middle of its life cycle. It looked like a system in the end of its life cycle, where you get lots of fan service, games that you know are low risk and high reward, don't necessarily have a huge budget or anything like that, but are going to create some game sales and potentially some system sales as you move on towards the next thing. But there was definitely one omission that's been an omission for a very long time from Nintendo Directs. A staggering amount of time has gone on since this game was announced, rebooted, and then left in the dark. And I'm of course talking about Metroid Prime 4. Now, a lot of people felt like Metroid Prime 4 was going to be at this Nintendo Direct because of the fact that, well, I mean, we got Metroid Prime Remastered earlier this year. During the February Nintendo Direct of 2023, Metroid Prime Remastered was a stealth drop, and this was a great game. You know, it's a great budget title at $40. They completely reworked the graphics and all of the textures in the game so they look a lot better. This isn't just a simple upscaling. Actual work sort of went into this to make it like its own actual thing with brand new texture assets. They added in new control schemes as well. Just a very high quality game from top to bottom. So many people were like, well, okay, if they're giving us Metroid Prime Remastered now, maybe there's a good chance that we're going to see Metroid Prime 4 this year at either the June or the September Nintendo Direct, because they're trying to garnish hype and garnish, you know, people's excitement of Metroid. But both of those Directs have come and gone, and there's been no Metroid Prime 4. So I'm left with the question, where the hell is Metroid Prime 4? Like, this has been the most bizarre Nintendo Switch game and one of the most bizarre Nintendo games in history. Just the whole development cycle of it, the whole ups and downs that we've seen. Of course, this was unveiled at E3 2017, and Nintendo usually is not a company that will showcase something that's years away unless it's a Legend of Zelda game. And why is that? Because Legend of Zelda games are massive scale games. There's a lot of things that you can show in a Legend of Zelda game to get people excited as you do like a drip feed of information as you're working on the game. Compare it to something like, you know, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Super Mario Brothers Wonder wasn't even at this latest Nintendo Direct because they've already shown it off and they don't really have anything else to show you with this game. They want you to sort of discover it on your own because they don't want to spoil the experience. But a game like The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, it was at a ton of Nintendo Directs with little snippets and little gameplay, and then they did a gameplay, you know, blowout where they showed you raw gameplay, and then they did another trailer for the game. Like, this game was all over the place. Metroid Prime 4, though, has not been that way. It was announced, like I said, at E3 2017, so you would expect some work was done with it. Like, something was done with it. Of course, the rumor is that Bandai Namco was working on this game for some reason. I don't know why you don't give it to Retro, the company that made the first 3 Metroid Prime games, but alas, you decided to go with Bandai Namco. I guess maybe that makes sense because Bandai Namco is really good at visuals on the Nintendo Switch. Like, look at new Pokemon Snap, like, or Pokemon Snap 2, I forget what the hell it's called. But Pokemon Snap, Pokken Tournament, these are games done by Bandai Namco, and they look leagues better than the crap that Game Freak churns out. So maybe that was kind of the mindset that they had. But Bandai Namco isn't known for first-person exploration games or first-person shooters or first-person adventure games. And then, of course, we got the update that this game was being rebooted. It was being redone because of the fact that evidently Bandai Namco didn't know what the hell they were doing, and given to Retro Studios, which it should have been in the first place. Now, how much of the game that Bandai Namco created was transferred over to Retro Studios? I think at this point in time, you have to say none. Just because of how long it has been since we got that announcement, and nothing since then. There has been no drip feed of information. There hasn't been a screenshot. There hasn't been a trailer. There hasn't been any, I think beyond that, there hasn't been any sort of reminder that this game exists. So unless you happen to be there for the Nintendo Switch E3 2017 presentation where it was first showcased, in case, if you happen to be there during the announcement of the reboot, like, you missed out. You're wondering, like, is this even a game? Is this vaporware at this point in time? Now, I don't necessarily think it's vaporware, but I also don't think it's a Nintendo Switch game anymore. I honestly do not feel that way. And they could put, you know, on the little investor reports and stuff like that, like Metroid Prime, to be determined when that game is coming out on the Switch. I just don't think it's coming out on the Switch. Like, when would you talk about it? Look at that last Nintendo Direct presentation. They showcased Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which is a 3DS game that is getting an HD remaster, like a lot of games from that era are starting to get. And that game comes out in summer of 2024, yet was announced back in June, and now given the release date in September. So under that assumption, under that information that we have, I would have to assume that Metroid Prime 4 is scheduled for beyond that. Because why wouldn't you show that game off? That's your big ace up your sleeve as far as like a big budget presentation game for the Nintendo Switch that you are releasing. You know, there was so much Mario stuff at this. Mario versus Donkey Kong, that's a GBA game. Super Mario RPG, that's a Super Nintendo game. You ended the Nintendo Direct with Paper Mario: A Thousand Year Door, a GameCube game. And all of these games look great. All these games have a high level of polish, and they're all going to be fun experiences. But you're telling me that Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is the way to end your Direct instead of Metroid Prime 4? Where the hell is this game? How far off is this game? Has it been shifted over to the next Nintendo platform? And if so, when the hell are you going to tell people this? Because it's insane to me. It's insane to me that we've gotten Metroid Dread, Metroid Prime 1 Remastered, all before we've heard anything or seen anything about Metroid Prime 4. And I don't think it's being impatient. I think at some point in time you have to face reality and be like, what the hell is going on with this game? Is there a problem with it? Have you shifted it to the next system? Why are you not talking about this? Because there has to be a reason. This isn't just circumstantial. This isn't just happenstance. This isn't just happening for no reason whatsoever. This is a game that has anticipation. This is a game that has hype. More so than Rusty Trombone Player that we learned about yesterday. So, I don't know, man. I don't have the answers. And I don't think anyone has the answers except for Retro and Nintendo themselves. But both of them aren't talking. So where the hell is Metroid Prime 4? I don't know. I don't know. And that kind of worries me a little bit. You know, I think it's going to be a next generation game. And that's fine because I'll just buy it on there. But if you're hoping for it on the Switch, at some point in time, you got to face reality. At some point in time, you got to feel like that light, that glimmer of hope is starting to dim a little bit. Because if nobody's talking about this game, and we're getting games that are coming out, first-party titles that are coming out in summer of 2024, and this game hasn't even been, you can't get a screenshot, you can't get a single gameplay trailer, or even a CGI trailer. Something's up. Something is up. And I'm Columbo. And I'll get to the, I'm not getting to the bottom of it. I don't know. What we gotta do? Text or DM Retro Studios on Twitter. They do follow me. I can be like, yo, where is Metroid Prime 4? And that's a good point. Retro Studios does follow me on Twitter. So you're going to see this video. You're going to know that people are asking questions. Getting inquisitive. That's my college word for the day. Let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Like I said, check out the other 3 videos from yesterday. A lot of good content on the channel. Well, good is subjective. A lot of content on the channel. Make sure you guys check all of those out. Watch this video too. Share it with your friends and see if you could solve the riddle of where's Metroid Prime 4. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.